Hey all, hey y'all. My name is Ashley-Nicole Phillips, and you are tuned in to Kingdom Things Podcast with me, Ashley-Nicole Phillips. I am the biblically prophesied Messiah, the Jewish culture widely awaited Mashiach, the Hindu culture prophesied Kalki, full circle moment alert, alert. So are you. Why Ashley? Thank you for this question. What I have in me, you have in you. What you have in you, I have in me. We're all frequencies, dimensions, bright lights, varying bright lights of infinite bright lights having a human experience in order to continue to grow and evolve all of existence. I wanted to use a different analogy, metaphor, simile when it comes to understanding our unity as dimensions of creation. We are all bright lights, varying bright lights of infinite bright lights, having a human experience in order to assist with growing and evolving all things. Within Kingdom Things Podcast, I use my soul gifts, my shaman mama capabilities, my multidimensionality, my psychic abilities. I might have said that first. I said soul gifts. My psychic abilities, my extrasensory perception, in order to channel energies and divine wisdoms from my inner space to the oneness of all things, to share with humanity, to share with us as we awaken in the masses to the remembrance that we are in our existential nature, limitless potentials, energies that are divine, that are divine presence. Again, having a human experience in order to grow and evolve all things, which brings me to Kingdom Things Podcast 2033 Prophecy. By 2033, the Most High, Hashem, Shekinah, Prime Source, God, Allah, says that we are going to be in the state of consciousness evolution in the masses as a human culture of planet Earth, to understand that we are a human culture of planet Earth with no disease, no death, no war, no famine, world peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no human trafficking, no sex trafficking. As disease, death, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking were all manifestations of humanity as we were in our gestational phase or in our cocoons, preparing, mastering our human consciousness to remember that we are, to prepare to remember that we are infinite potentials having a human experience, that we are life creations of infinite life forms and creations having a human experience in order to assist with growing and evolving all things. Y'all, I know these things that I just named that are no longer going to be a part of our human culture. And again, by 2033, we'll be in a human consciousness status in the masses to understand this, as we are remembering that we are the co-creators of our reality. The way we show up in our reality is a direct reflection on what we manifest in our reality. We were in our gestational phase where we manifested these things. I channel for my soul wisdoms. Whenever creation needs something to continue to grow and evolve, it naturally produces it. Everything we've experienced, everything we've created was to assist with our evolution into more. Remembrance that we are more. Preparation for our dharmic purpose, which brings me to human dharmic purpose. It's prophetic. I channeled it from my heart space, my soul space. By the way, anything in Kingdom Things Podcast, the Kingdom Things Podcast catalog is timeless. Any energies, any messages within Kingdom Things Podcast that resonate with your heart space, you're more than welcome to use these energies and messages on your own journey of evolution, remembrance, of your oneness with all things, on your own journey of spiritual awakening, soul attainment, soul enlightenment, into more universally aligned, balanced, for the regeneration and upliftment, of all things, journey to more embodiment and conscious awareness of your limitless potentials. You're more than welcome to use the Kingdom Things Podcast catalog. Again, it's timeless. Whatever resonates with your heart, use that on your journey of remembrance and embodiment, conscious awareness of your limitless potentials as universally aligned, universally assigned for the upliftment and regeneration of all things. Whatever does not resonate with your heart, leave it. It's fine. And please do not replace any professional medical advice with anything you hear in any of my content. Kingdom Things Podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips. By the way, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Follow if you're watching on Spotify to help proliferate the Kingdom Things Podcast journey to a healed and balanced human culture of planet Earth. Our human dharmic purpose as told by the Most High, the Divine. It is prophetic. I channeled it from my heart space. We were created to remember that we are the stark paradigms of left, right, dark, light, yin, yang, or hot, cold, or the spectrum of oneness or limitless potentials. With the illusion or the paradigm of finite, the Divine wants to know, what do we create? With remembering our limitless potentials while being in our paradigms or our preferences or embodying our ancestral inheritances or our ancestral ways of doing things. How do we evolve our ancestry? How do we evolve our humanism? How do we evolve the galactic creation? How do we evolve all of human creation? How do we evolve all of God's creation as we remember our limitless potentials and journey our lives in an inquisitive way to grow and evolve our human culture, as we were created to be in happiness, wellness, and balance? Which brings me to the Kingdom Things podcast, Call to Action. Sit with yourself for at least 1 hour a day, every day. Ask yourself, hey soul, what is it that I need to know to become more consciously aware of my limitless potentials? Wait for the answers, because they will arrive. We all have different lingos, different ways of communicating with the oneness of all things, our ancestors, our soul, our self, limitless potentials. I channeled within the Kingdom Things podcast installments titled Frequential Patterning Part 1, as well as Frequential Patterning Part 2. There are an infinite number of ways to perceive reality or creation of the self. And there are infinite number of energies as well as paradigms. Energy is a paradigm within creation. There's an infinite number of energies as well as paradigms within creation to perceive. I say that to say your lingo with the universe might be most likely is very authentic and unique to you. That doesn't make it any less valid. It makes it magic, literal magic. Sit with yourself for at least 1 hour a day, every day. Ask yourself, hey soul, what do I need to know to embody my limitless potential with conscious awareness in order to evolve and grow my existence, my ancestry, human culture, the galactic creation, the oneness of all things? Again, wait for the answers, because they will come. Be patient with yourself, compassionate with yourself, unconditionally loving with yourself. Unconditionally loving the understanding that everything you experience is to evolve you and prepare you into more embodiment, more conscious awareness of your limitless potentials. Now within Kingdom Things podcast, I channel and publish the divine wisdoms from my soul space using, again, my shaman mama capabilities in many different ways. You're tuned into a Kingdom Things podcast meetup. Within the Kingdom Things podcast meetups, I transcendentally channel many beings and energies, entities, from the ancestral forces, from the oneness of all things that want to come in and tap on our heart spaces, pour love into our heart spaces, our whole beingness, our genome, our DNA, as we awaken in the masses with loving energies, healing energies, as well as beautiful wisdoms, words, incantations. Again, please do not replace any of your professional medical advice with anything you hear or experience within Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips. I'm super excited. Today we are channeling the Haudenosaunee Native American culture, also known as the Iroquois Native American cultures. They're excited to come in and share their wisdoms and their love and their existential remembrance that they remembered, because everything is truly happening here and now. Creation is multidimensional, many timelines, many universes, infinite timelines, infinite universes happening now, that they remember. They do respect our perception of reality, of time, of linear time. Our perception is that I'm reading my notes. I wanted to pronounce their name correctly. Haudenosaunee, because babe, when I get to channeling, sometimes, baby, I start pronouncing things incorrectly. Sometimes the words that I say come out, baby, jumbled. So I just want to pronounce their words correctly. So I'm looking at my channel notes. Sometimes the Haudenosaunee culture, or the Iroquois, also most commonly known as Iroquois culture. That's what I knew them as. But they were like, no, Ashley, call us a Haudenosaunee beings, entities, force of the Americas, North and South America. We're going to get into that. They were like, actually, we're going to share a lot of stuff that doesn't correlate or doesn't that is contradictory to what you learned in your schools, through your textbooks. But this is our truth, and we're sharing it with you all, so you understand how high vibrational wisdom supersede what we're able to perceive in any moment. Again, there are an infinite number of parallel realities and universes that are perceptible when you're able to match or meet the energies of the infinite parallel realities or universes. This is the multidimensionality we're being activated into rapidly as a human culture. Our ability to connect with our using our extrasensory perceptive gifts, our psychic abilities, our shaman mama, shaman father, shaman papa capabilities to connect to these different dimensions, different wisdoms, a reality that supersede who we perceive we are in any moment, or supersede the teachings in our textbooks. They are no less valid. These wisdoms that we channel from our heart spaces, from our soul spaces, as awakening divine forces within creation. Our textbooks are no less valid as well, but there's more. We're awakening to the fact that there is more. The Haudenosaunee culture, most commonly known as the Iroquois culture, want to come in and share their divine wisdoms, high vibrational wisdoms of their understanding of creation that they understood when they dwelled on the planet, that correspond. They want to share. The Haudenosaunee culture wants to share, and they want to be known as Haudenosaunee culture. They respect Iroquois, the Iroquois name, but they want to be known as the Haudenosaunee culture. They want to be known as a Haudenosaunee culture. They're saying that the name Iroquois is a name that was like given through a perspective of a group of people that came from outside of their culture to try to define who they were. And they were called the Iroquois, when truly they called themselves Haudenosaunee. They're saying whitewashed. And I'm like, shoot, they're like, Iroquois is more of a whitewashed understanding of our culture. Haudenosaunee is who we called ourselves. That's our language. I appreciate it. I respect it. They want to be called, known as a Haudenosaunee culture. Haudenosaunee culture. They're saying, they're channeling through me now. I'm having a energetic communication within my inner space. Again, using my channeling mama capabilities. They are saying that the way we perceived their culture, the time in which we perceive them dwelling within North America, through our textbooks, the dates that we perceive, the time, the paradigms of time in which we perceive, the structure of time in which we perceive, is also not the whole truth. Is as well not the whole truth. Ooh, baby. Ooh. Gotta hit the phase, baby. I love when I get divine revelations while I'm channeling. That baby just get me excited, like with the best connotation ever, like blow my mind, like with mystical remembrance and love. They're like, just like the Mayan culture, I've channeled many installments, and I have close communication, close ties. We all have close ties to all of these ancestral forces that are channeled all throughout the Kingdom Things podcast. Everything, principle of correspondence, as below, so above. Everything in our reality is the manifestations of the energies in which we are. So all of these ancestral forces that we perceive in our textbooks, within Kingdom Things podcast, in our reality, they're one with all of us. We're all one together. So they're like, I've channeled and I communicate with the Mayan culture readily, and I have close ties with the Mayan culture and the spirit, and otherwise, spirit is all things. But I know the Mayan culture, they transcended as a colony. What do you mean transcended, Ashley? They evolved spiritually by accepting themselves, all of themselves, in a way that they raise a vibration of their consciousness to dwell on planes of reality that in which you need to utilize extrasensory perception, or perception outside of touch, taste, sight, hearing, smell, in order to perceive these colonies, these cultures, these civilizations. This is what happened to the Mayan culture, ancient Mayan predecessors. And I'm going to link below the Kingdom Things podcast meetup where I channeled our ancient Mayan predecessors. And they talk about how they evolved and they transcended or raised their vibration to expand their culture, their heritage, their people into other timelines, dimensions, realms of reality. Like they share that they have a colony on Venus, our ancient Mayan predecessors. I'm going to link below the Kingdom Things podcast with our ancient Mayan predecessors, the Haudenosaunee. They just gave me the enlightenment, the wisdom, the remembrance that they too are a transcendental colony or a transcendental civilization where they remembered who they are in the divine. They remember that they're one with all things. They remember that they have no one end or beginning, that they remember that they are trillions of years old or have no beginning or end in the way that we perceive time, in order to embody the energies of a heightened consciousness civilization, in order to transcend the paradigms of time and space, bend the paradigms of time and space to colonize their culture, their heritage, their people on many planes of reality, or parallel universes, parallel timelines. Ooh, this is really beautiful. Now, this is a message that they gave me. They're like, we want to assist with awakening the soul of the planet through sharing the story of our evolution as ancient indigenous Americans of North and South America. They said we were North and South America. We are and were North and South America dwelling beings of creation, of planet Earth. I was like, whoa. Same with the ancient Mayan predecessors. I channeled and have a close, beautiful relationship with Quetzalcoatl, the ancient Mayan god, deity. He's like, Ashley, we had colonies, we lived in like Southern America, Central America, and South America. We don't have that in our textbooks, baby. That goes against what, baby? If you go ahead and Google that knowledge, it don't show up like they don't Google on the Googles. But nonetheless, I trust my inner space and the wisdoms and the insights that are gifted by the ancestors to share with humanity through Kingdom Things podcast, to help us as we awaken to a greater understanding of ourselves, our existential nature, and understanding ourselves in a greater way. Understanding our existential nature in a greater way is understanding reality in a greater way. I forgot to reiterate with the call to action, principle of correspondence, as below, so above. Everything in our reality is a manifestation of the energies in which we are. It's about being inquisitive about our reality. Hey, so this is my reality. What is it supposed to teach me about myself? Because I know everything in my reality is only a manifestation of my divine self. I know everything in my reality is only a manifestation of my limitless energy. What is this supposed to teach me about myself? Now, when we do this, y'all, we all, again, are miraculous, big, universal energies, one with all the multiverse, the omniverse, all the universes. When we do this, we wait for the answers, we embody the energies, we embody the wisdoms. Our souls on a conscious and unconscious level help we would know it as a quantum, in a quantum way, shapeshift and manifest evolution in our reality. That's how we get a human culture planet Earth by 2033, with the understanding that we are a human culture planet Earth with no disease, no death, no war, no famine, world peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no human trafficking, no sex trafficking, as we are one. And the Haudenosaunee, they understood that we are one. We are united with all things of creation, with all beings of creation, with all dimensions of nature. And they're like, we awaken to this as you perceive as you perceive time, when we dwelled in what we call the third dimensional plane of reality, we perceived this about ourselves, that we were infinite, and we knew this on a soul level, and we embodied the energies, and our DNA awakened to the energies to a point where our consciousness expanded into the energies, to where we became a multidimensional race of beings. And I'm like, whoa. And they're like, we've done this over many cycles of creation. Creation happens in the principle of rhythm. Universal law of rhythm. Creation happens in ups and downs. They're like, there's times our civilization has fallen into denser embodiments of energies and followed denser wisdoms or more limiting, restricting understandings of the self, which manifested a reality that mirrored the more restricted, limited perception of the self. Just as you, humanity, are in a phase where you're awakening from a more dense, energetic embodiment or more restricted, limited perception of yourself and reality. You're awakening from this phase. And you've been here before. You've been in an awakened civilization that remember a civilization that perceived themselves as limited and then woke up to their limitless potential and created a reality that reflected it. And then you fell back asleep and then you woke up again. And we call this ascension cycles of creation. So those civilizations where you were asleep, you were asleep in a different ascension cycle of creation, dwell in a parallel universe or a parallel timeline. And then you awakened and you became a different civilization. This civilization also dwells in a parallel universe, parallel timeline. Y'all, we about to get into it. We're in the age of Aquarius. We're in an ancient epoch, resurrected and fulfilled prophetic time of galactic creation, of God's creation, where all of God's creation is awakening to our united force that we are. The remembrance that we're one in what we call God, or one in unity and consciousness, or one in union in Allah, one in union in Shekinah, one in union in Hashem, one in union in Prime Source, one in union in the oneness of all things. We've been here before. At the same time, we haven't. Because we are experiencing shifts and changes or variances in our evolution, as every ascension cycle from the micro to the macrocosm, from the civilizations on the planet Earth that are awakening once again into remembrance of our limitless potentials, to all of God's creation, whom are awakening once again to our limitless potentials in our unity. Planet Earth in its unity. All of God's creation awakening to its limitless potential in its unity. We've done this before. The divine wants to see, what do we create in this ascension cycle of our evolution, of our infinite nature, which truly has no alpha and omega, which truly always is. What do we create? The thought patterns we focus on, the way we lead our lives, the wisdoms in which we choose to lean into and make our preferences, the things and energies and belief systems in which we choose to lean into and make our preferences, shape our reality, shape who we evolve into, shape our realities. The divine, the Most High wants to see, what do we create? So I'm awakening within the dream once again, just like you're awakening within the dream once again, or your limitless potentials, our limitless potentials are being reactivated on a cellular, atomic, genome, DNA way to expand our consciousness into remembrance that we are one tandem with all things in union. Limitless potentials with wellness and balance for the upliftment and rejuvenation of all things, as universally aligned, universally assigned. Shalom. Inshallah, Bismillah, Namaste, Ashe, Amen. And my awakening process was catalyzed by my twin flame journey. And in my twin flame journey, my life, my existence evolved in a way where I'm leaning more into the alchemical marriage that the twin flame journey is, or the alchemical marriage that existence is. As everything we do is a symbiotic creation, is everything that we do creates a third energy, or everything that we do creates a marriage to evolve and create existence. And I'm awakening to these wisdoms. And I know that I already embody these wisdoms in my DNA. My soul's already experienced these things infinite times. You already embody these wisdoms that you're awakening to within yourself and that you're experiencing here within Kingdom Things Podcast. You know, you want us to be here on a soul level to remind yourself of what you already have inside of you, limitless potentials. I already know that I've experienced this before in infinite different variances of creation. You've already experienced awakening and remembering your limitless potentials, being your limitless potentials in infinite different dimensions of creation. It's so beautiful because we're coming out of a paradigms where it was a dog-eat-dog world, where, you know, it was one man for all, where it was survival consciousness, victim consciousness. And now we're reactivating into these divine wisdoms. And the contrast is beautiful. The contrast is the alchemy, or remembering these divine wisdoms of unity and the power of unity and knowledge and wisdom, embodying and being the unity, the knowledge that is, the embodying and being the wisdoms and knowledge that is, we are one with all things, paired with the makings of us, or our ancestral thoughts, belief systems, energies. We want to awaken with peace, compassion, respect for one another and ourselves. That's actually our divine mandate. That's our purpose. The divine is like, I created y'all to be the mastery of unconditional love and compassion, or the understanding that everywhere that you show up is a part of your evolution. So your neighbor that has a different consciousness, awareness, or perspective or reality than you do is no less divine, is no less of your mirror. God's like, I created differing forces or dualistic forces to be harmonizing forces, not warring forces. It's us as humanity extending ourselves to exercise our wisdoms, exercising the bare decency that we are life form, respecting our life form, however it shows up, however our life form speaks, however our life form looks, however our life forms smell, however our life forms choose to express, whichever life forms our life forms choose to prefer. So as long as our life forms are the different dimensions of ourselves or different humans and beings of creation, respect the safety and sanctity of our life form by protecting life form and not harming or desecrating life form. We respect preferences and differences so as the sanctity and safety of life form is respected tandemly. Y'all, I've been in a lot of spiritual warfare. And I'm going to link below Kingdom Things Podcast meetup where I channeled Archangel Michael as well as Ascended Master Hoomi. And they were like, hey, spiritual warfare is training day, or your mind melding with spirit, understanding anything. And again, please do not take any advice or wisdoms from Kingdom Things Podcast and substitute it for professional medical advice. I channel within the Kingdom Things Podcast, channeling with Archangel Michael and Hoomi, the Ascended Master Hoomi, which is linked below, and the Kingdom Things Podcast reference content, that spiritual warfare is truly ourselves or thought patterns that we thought and think in some dimension of our embodiment. Some dimension of the oneness of all things is being presented to us to show what we have inside of ourselves. Instead of fighting ourselves, when we have spiritual warfare, spiritual attacks through the inner space, or otherwise, we drop into our heart spaces, we garner the wisdoms, we be patient. I've been going through a lot of spiritual warfare. It's been a part of the makings of me. And gratitude. It's been super helpful in my alchemical internal marriage, or balancing my yin and yang, or allowing my yin and yang to meld, or for me to, it's allowed for me to meet myself in so many different dimensions and garner so many different wisdoms from the way I meet myself in so many different dimensions, from the inner space, to embody the wisdoms from the different perspectives that I garner from meeting myself in these many different dimensions. I'm going to go ahead and thank the Haudenosaunee, y'all. When I get to channeling, baby, I feel disrespectful when I mess up people's names. Oh, baby, I feel so disrespectful. Ashley, why didn't you just remember the name before you got on and did this transmission? Why did you just practice the name? I did, y'all. I did practice the name. I did. And the pronunciation and everything. Ooh, baby, I be feeling so disrespectful. I start channeling in many different dimensions, and like, baby, I'll start saying words that don't even fit in the context sometimes. Y'all seen that many times within Kingdom Things podcast. That happens, and then, baby, I mispronounce names and stuff. And that'll happen because, I'm using so many extrasensory perceptive faculties to communicate non-linearly. And then linearly, or with the English language, present the communications transmit the communications and the energies to the podcast. I apologize. To the Haudenosaunee collective, culture, heritage beings. And I want to thank you beforehand. I'm going to go ahead and sit back, close my eyes, and transcendentally channel the Haudenosaunee indigenous and, baby, universes wide people of divine creation, ancestors of divine creation. Thank you ahead of time, and thank you so much for presenting your energies, your wisdoms, your love to humanity through Kingdom Things podcast. I appreciate it. You're more than welcome to close your eyes as well, to allow any energies and messages that would like to assist with uplifting you and enlightening you, or activating your divine remembrances from within your inner space, your ancestral lineage, your DNA, your genome, to do so. Again, please do not replace any advice that you get within Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips with any of your professional medical advice. Thank you again ahead of time. Haudenosaunee beings, thank you so much. You're welcome, Ashley. We are proud, we are glad to be here and project our dimensionality, project our frequential patterning, project our understandings of reality through a frequential patterning that permeates the cells, the microbes, the atoms, the strings, the molecules, the nucleus, the membrane, the blood cells, the tissues, the ligaments of every human, every being that experiences this transmission through the reverberation of all of time and space. Ashley has shared much of what we intended to share through our channeling. So we bid you adieu, and we thank you, humanity. Blessings and love. Baby, that's it, baby. Short and sweet. Real short and sweet. Baby, we just gonna permeate you real quick. A little 1-2 tap with this beautiful magical energy. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Unconditional energy. I'm like, that's all y'all gotta say. They're like, girl, they were like, sister. It was a masculine energy, feminine and masculine energy, but it was like a masculine energy. They were like, that's all we have. We just very want to reverberate some of this good loving, this good frequential patterning. Thank you so much, Haudenosaunee collective, also known as Iroquois, indigenous Native Americans, for your love, for your wisdoms, for your divine revelations, to help uplift all the nations. Oh my goodness. I want to thank you so much for tuning into this Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips transmission. Like, share, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and or Spotify to help proliferate the Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips, journey to a healed and balanced human culture of planet Earth. Y'all, I also channel healing energies and messages through Oneness Connection Energetic Upliftment, which is linked below. It's a channel on YouTube, one of my channels on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe over there. We do powwow sessions, group powwow sessions, baby. The universal forces, ancestral forces, the most high, galactic ancestry. Like, hey, Ashley, look at this paradigm within humanism and channel these wisdoms and energies through your inner space, to the portal that you are, to help heal and uplift these paradigms and balances within humanism. And that's what we do over there. Oneness Connection, Energetic Upliftment, link below. I'll call them powwow sessions. Whenever I'm in my inner space, healing myself, uplifting myself, all the things with my shaman mama capabilities, I call it a powwow session. I do powwow sessions on myself all the time, baby, all day, baby. I'm doing shadow work. It's also known as the shadow work, where you face yourself on the inside, shine light on it, or become aware of the different energies in which you hold, belief systems in which you hold, in order to garner the wisdoms from it. Synonymous with the Kingdom Things podcast call to action. Oneness Connection, Energetic Upliftment is available to stream for free over on YouTube, link below, or here on YouTube if you're already watching on YouTube, link below. Group powwow sessions. I also offer personal powwow sessions. You're able to book your personal powwow session below within the Kingdom Things podcast Healing Home Square portal. What I do is video style, a lot like this. I channel the energies and messages in which your soul, your ancestry, the oneness of all things wants you to experience, in order to knock through karmic knots, dense energies, to help you perceive you and your whole lineage, perceive more of your limitless potentials, embody the energies of more of your limitless potentials, to evolve and grow into and embody more of your limitless potentials with ease and grace, and an amplified limitless presence. Again, you're able to book your Kingdom Things podcast Healing Home powwow session below in the Kingdom Things podcast Healing Home Square portal. I take those on a limited regimen to not overwork myself. So go ahead and book your powwow session below. I'm also a singer-songwriter, y'all. I really love creating music. It's one way that it's a modality that I love to use to heal my inner space, to heal the ancestry, to heal the oneness of all things. And then I get to encapsulate the healing energies and the wisdoms within the frequencies within the music. My albums, my live studio sessions are available to stream Ashley-Nicole music on YouTube. That's the only place to stream my new music at this time. Ashley-Nicole music on YouTube, link below. Subscribe to the channel to join, the Ashley-Nicole music journey to a healed and balanced human culture, planet Earth. I'm also a home chef, y'all. I really enjoy cooking. It's one of the things that keep me grounded in my humanism with joy and fun. I've been doing it since I was a kid. Intuitive cooking. Whatever the ancestors tell me to put in the pot, the pan, the baking dish, this is what we put into the pot, the pan, the baking dish. Magic Meals with Ashley-Nicole Phillips is available to stream on YouTube. There's also a lot of really cool other content over there. It's kind of mukbang style content where we eat and talk. There's a mature version called Dinner Talk. We have super mature spiritual conversations. And then there's another version called Let Me See Your Plate, where baby, sometimes we get super silly, super funny, but we still have spiritual mature conversations as well. And Let Me See Your Plate. Dinner Talk, Let Me See Your Plate, Magic Meals with Ashley-Nicole Phillips is available to stream. Magic Meals with Ashley-Nicole Phillips is the name of the channel on YouTube, link below. Y'all, I'm also an author. I authored the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, which I'm really overjoyed to share with humanity. It was a part of my rapid spiritual awakening journey. I saw my ancestral forces like, Ashley, you do not remember who you are, baby. This is a light phase, baby. This is a sunrise phase. I know you've been in the darkness for a long time, or you forgot who you were. You were, baby, sleep amnesiac for a long time. But now, baby, it's a sunrise phase where, baby, we activated your DNA. We need you to remember who you are in God and your limitless existential nature. They were like, you don't remember. So they had me, my ancestral forces, my inner space, my soul had me channel. And the journey of remembering is an infinite evolutionary process. So my soul was like, hey, Ashley, it's a journey, not a race. I channeled the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, which is a 3-part book series. The first 2 parts are Asia's story. The first book, Coming Home, the story of Asia. The second book, The Story of Asia, I'm Home. It's about a teenage girl named Asia growing up in the New York City foster care system. She's catalyzed onto her spiritual awakening journey when she meets her twin flame Chase in the hallway of her school. And hallway of her school, Manhattan Prep. A lot of other things happen to her to help her get into alignment with her spiritual awakening journey, to remember the abundance and wellness and mastery of unconditional love in which she is, to manifest a self and a life that mirrors the master of unconditional love and wellness abundance in which she is. The third part of the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel is my other half, y'all. Beautiful book. It's the book introduced in Asia's story, the first two parts. It's about one soul, two bodies, many lifetimes, a twin flame or divine counterpart journey back home to God. One soul, two bodies, many lifetimes. This is an ancient journey, y'all. The twin flame journey is not new. I know it was real heavy in our pop culture, but it's not new. It's an ancient journey. You can actually learn about it in Gnostic Christianity, where the divine feminine helps the divine masculine awaken and climb back into his remembrance of his oneness with divine presence or limitless nature. One soul, two bodies, many lifetimes. Now they're supposed to co-create a love and a life together. Each lifetime says that their love can't work. They will co-create a love and a life together. Which lifetime, under which circumstances. This is the third part of the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, the book called My Other Half. You're able to purchase the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel within the Amazon bookstore. If you're doing all digital copies, it's 3 separate downloads, $29.97 plus tax for all 3 downloads. If you're doing paperback for the 3 stories, it's 2 bindings, so 2 books. The first 2 parts, Asia's story, come in 1 binding. The third part, My Other Half, comes in its own binding. Collectively, all 3 stories, the 2 bindings, 2 books, are $29.98 plus tax. I love you. Love on yourself. Oh, I was like, I know I'm forgetting something, y'all. I was like, shoot. I was like, I know I'm forgetting something. Baby, I use my divine creativity to share my wisdoms with the world, baby. There's, baby, plenty of channels and avenues. Asia's Story, the animated series. Asia's Story, the animated series actually derives from Asia's universe. We're going to go ahead and roll into an episode that I'll pick at random of Asia's Story, the animated series. Asia's Story, the animated series is available to stream on YouTube for free at this time. AP Short Stories on YouTube. It is linked below. Let's go ahead and roll into an episode of Asia's Story, the animated series. I love you. Love on yourself. Self-love is the best love because you have to love yourself in the way in which you want your reality to love you back. Self-love is the best love because you are loving your truest truths. Give that love to yourself first. Self-love is the best love because it helps you perceive and embody more of your limitless potentials, and which you were created to do, and which we were created to do. I'm going to see y'all later. I hope you enjoy Asia's anime series. Bye, y'all.
My mission: to assist with bringing harmony to the reptilian race. Bigger picture? I am creating harmony within self, because all is within. Facing myself has been trying. The beautiful part about this whole process, well, all of it is beautiful, because all is the divine in evolution. The beautiful part about this process is that I am remembered. Whenever I am feeling out of sorts.
Hey, my name is Asia, and I am an interdimensional being. I know. I just found out myself. Everything that I thought was my truth was a lie. I chose to continue this life because of the one thing that I know isn't a lie. Love.
I drop into my heart space for guidance, love, and support.
Over the years, when you got angry, or rather, you perceived that others were angry, you judged.
Yeah, I did.
You forgot who you are.
You forgot who you are. You are a reptilian.
Not just any reptilian. I am one with you.
It's a part of the creation of who I am, to remember that all is one. To remember who we are, the human being of planet Earth. God created us to be in her image. Unconditional love, the mastery of the understanding that all is one, all is within.
Yes, Asia. You going within and finding me set the reptilians free. You see, we don't have to run anymore. We ran. from divine alignment, out of the complacency and solace we found within self. We ran to maintain our repetitious patterns that manifested within the human being, as we are a part of the makings of the human being, as your ego or your personalities.
The reptilian brain makes me want to react by flighting or fighting. Makes me feel like I don't know who I can trust. Makes me feel like I stand alone.
Always remember, Asya.
All is one.
And all is within.
Including the reptilians. Alone. I grew up feeling isolated and in pain. Whenever I feel the energies that remind me of this isolation and pain, I'm triggered into my flight or fight response. As you face the reptilian dimensions of yourself, remain heart-centered to elevate this dimension of the self. The projecting of your energy, which caused the disease, war, famine, death, poverty on your planet. It's rooted in the anger. Stay heart-centered and uplift the energies of the anger. Well, yes, the reptilians did procreate this disease called war, anger, famine, poverty, with journeying creation as an autonomous creation within creation. Does this make the reptilian race any less of creation than you, Asya?
God, wake me up. It was the only time I really missed. Looked in the mirror and said, you deserve carrots. And don't forget the 3 C's: courage, kindness, and complete autonomy. Kindness doesn't begin with a C, but don't those words feel good to the soul.
My author, Ashley-Nicole. Point exemplified. Your author, Ashley-Nicole, is a mirror of you, just as the reptilian dimension standing in front of you is a mirror of you. All is within. We are one. We choose to grow and evolve through accepting and appreciating how we are one, and to forgive the dissonance or disagreement with how we project our oneness. Forgiving the dissonance with the understanding that how each frequency within the oneness of all things, or infinite creation, or God, expresses the oneness is necessary, even if we don't agree or understand it. Every dimension is necessary. We choose to do what, Asya? Learn and grow from the self.
Precisely.
You got it. These powerful energies I'm feeling are my new beginning. When I felt my new beginning initiating, I would be triggered into fight or flight response, which would perpetuate old realities. Groundhog's Day.
You remember. You are ready to step into your humanic position of bringing harmony to all of the universes, all of the galactic creation. And so it is.
We all had subconscious fears, which drove our thirst and desire to be in life, to remember our Creator, to remember why we were created, who we were created by. You see, the evolution of us, the makings of us, is a long-stemming, eternal saga. The reptoid reptilian race didn't create war, death, disease, famine, poverty, destitution, but rather they mirrored to creation what we all possessed. What we all possessed. You see, the galactic creation is a long-spanning saga of many tales of war, royalty, enslavement, and the pursuit of freedom. Throughout all space and time, called the galactic creation, we, galactic beings, sought for higher learning, higher understandings of self, with the subconscious, conscious pursuit of defeating our Creator, or reigning supreme over creation. The human being of planet Earth is the first bipedal man made in the image of the Supreme Creator, the Most High White Light Creator Energy. Or the human being of planet Earth is limitless potentials in the form of a bipedal man, in the form of tangible existence. It has been recorded in ancient texts whether or not the human being of planet Earth would bring creation to its demise, or whether or not the Most High trust in itself to create the human being of planet Earth would pay off, would truly bring regeneration and upliftment to all things, all beings, spaces, realms, places, and beyond of infinite creation. We have chosen to remember the humanoid creation of the galaxies has chosen to remember. The human being of planet Earth has chosen to remember. We are the mastery of unconditional love. We are the mastery of compassion and action. We are the remembrance that every dimension of creation is a mirror of self to learn and grow and evolve the self for the upliftment, regeneration, wellness, and balance of all things, all beings, all spaces, places, and dimensions.
My name is Asia, and I'm a teenage witch. Just kidding. I am a starseed. My story is much like humanity's story. I awakened to some pretty spectacular things about myself. Coming home, the story of Asia, followed by the story of Asia, I'm home. The book series that introduces the book. After returning from a day's trip, I have read my Atum's letter. He speaks of my father releasing him from imprisonment and the fate of death. He pleads for us to run away together. This plea is one of which there is no state to decline. My other half, available in the Amazon bookstore. I feel as though I was born here on Earth to find you. I was created to find my person. The Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, now available in the Amazon bookstore.